Hello everyone, it's Morgan Hasn't Seen, and I thought I would change the tune of the intro singing today, despite the fact that, Jeannine, it never ties up with our actual show's intro music.
Yeah, that's okay though. I mean, we could sing the intro music.
Do you want to sing the intro music now? Is it still playing? It might. Okay, that has just either sounded very, very good or very terrible and off, because the intro music might still be playing. Yeah, and who knows if you're 3 beats behind or right on the money. Who the hell knows? Hello everyone, it is the second episode of the Will Smith / Men in Black series on Morgan Hasn't Seen. I am Morgan. I haven't seen things. That is Jeannine. She forces me to see the things I've missed.
I do.
And we appreciate her for doing that. Or at least I do.
For
or
now.
At least everyone else does.
For now.
Yeah. You are quite right. For now.
You will hate me next month, but that's okay.
So yeah, what are we doing today, Jeannine?
Today we are discussing Men in Black 2.
Yeah, this of course comes after discussing Men in Black 1, which we did last week, which I flat out loved, which was great. Now, Men in Black 2 we have this week, which was 2002. I want to say, same director. Trivia question number 1: who was the director?
Barry Sonnenfeld.
There you go. So it's same director, so it's very, very much the same feel to the movie. We also didn't mention last week, Danny Elfman does the score for these movies. And first off, I want to say, I heard hints of the Spider-Man score in this
Picked
one.
Picked up on that, huh?
Picked up on that. It reminds me of. I feel like a good few of the big name composers do that though.
Yeah, they sample their own stuff and kind of rework it. I mean, I do things like that as a graphic designer. Like, I take old designs and kind of, a concept maybe or an element from it, and I could change it up.
And hey, it works. I mean, it has worked for Danny Elfman for 30 years, so however long it's been.
But it's like you can usually tell when it's his score, because he has a very distinct sound to his music. With
the big name composers, you can kind of always tell. I mean, the really big names. Of course, there is that one. You say how a lot of artists and whatever it is, and it's perfectly true, will sample their own music. There is that one from Hans Zimmer though, that's kind of a bit more than sampling your own music. It's just using the same damn thing. I think it's Hans Zimmer, or it's at least whoever did. Did Hans Zimmer do Pirates of the Caribbean?
I think so.
Yeah, so it's Hans Zimmer then, because in the opening scene of Gladiator, Ridley Scott's Gladiator, when Maximus's horses are charging towards the enemy, it is the Pirates of the Caribbean theme tune. It just is.
Seriously?
It's the same.
I don't think I ever noticed that.
Yeah, watch it again. It's strikingly obvious.
I actually heard a score that sounded very similar to the Pirates of the Caribbean score in this weird, like, 90s extreme era, like, skydiving movie. I was flipping through channels, and it was like all these people jumping out of the plane, and, like, the music was like, da 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 da. And I'm like, this sounds like the pirate score. This is so random. So,
why were you watching a skydiving
I was
movie?
flipping through channels and I heard the music and I'm like, what is that? And then I was like some, that extreme era, like Point Break, extreme sports skydiving kind of era of the 90s. Yeah, it was like some random skydiving movie. And yeah, the music that was playing during this skydiving scene sounded very similar to the Pirates of the Caribbean score.
That's why you were watching a skydiving movie, because we just watched Point Break for the show.
Yeah. Well, this wasn't recent. So, this was a while ago.
Okay. You were getting in the mood to watch Point Break for the show.
Yeah.
I don't know. But we are not here to talk about skydiving, skateboarding, BMX, biking, or whatever stupid X game sports there might be. I'm not in that group. Nolan, I believe, is in that group of likes the X Games and stuff like that.
Oh, really?
But you know, he likes weird stuff in general, like electronic music and other strange things. I don't understand. We'll have to take it up with him. We'll have to do a full hour and a half long interview of Nolan as to why he likes strange things that nobody else likes.
Well, maybe we can discuss that with him if we have him on for our teen movies month.
Well, yeah, perhaps. And I like how I say that, as though I'm one to talk when it comes to liking stuff that nobody else likes.
Well, speaking of that, last time we talked a little bit about this tangent you went off on It's a Wonderful Podcast about lighthouses. And what did we see in Men in Black 2, Morgan?
A lighthouse. Well, was it a lighthouse, though?
Technically, I mean, it was a big lighthouse behind the post office, right?
Yeah, it was. It was.
Yeah, I couldn't help but have a pretty good hearty chuckle when I saw that.
What a good place to go into the movie.
Yeah, see? Master of the segue.
Tommy Lee Jones' former agent, Kay, we have to say at the beginning of this movie, is now working in a post office in rural Massachusetts.
Yes. So we see a lot of, the movie kind of starts with Jay, like, vetting new partners, and none of them quite working out.
One of them being Patrick Warburton, who we all love, who is great in everything he's ever in.
Yes.
I like Patrick Warburton.
And we get, like, a slight line of dialogue explaining what happened to Linda Fiorentino.
Oh yeah, that was all we got of her. That was just like, yep, okay, bang, done.
Yeah.
Not coming back. Bye. So we've instead got Rosario Dawson.
Yes.
Which I will never complain about.
Oh,
Never in 3 million history of the world, the future of the world, and the universe in general will you ever hear me complain about Rosario Dawson being in anything. But that's beside the point.
As you shouldn't. She is gorgeous and wonderful and very talented.
All of those things.
All of those things. All of the things.
All of the things. But yeah, I like how Men in Black 2 opens up very much the same as the first one, with sort of getting rid of the old partner.
Yeah.
And Will Smith in this case, in the sequel's case, being very familiar with the alien they're going after.
Yeah, like I kind of appreciated him, like being the one who like knows about the world and knows about what to do, and he's very the
tides have turned.
Yes, so like you see him learning in the first one, and then you get to see him really be the guy who knows what to do and knows all the protocols and all of that. Yeah. It was kind of cool.
And I like Jeff, the weird alien worm person who lives in the sewer.
Yeah, but that leads me to one of the disappointing things about this movie.
Yeah.
I think they went more like digital effects as opposed to practical effects, and the time of when it came out, they did not look that great.
No, they didn't. I think the few digital effects that were used in the first one, back in that's 97, that's 5 years before this.
Yeah.
Looked somehow better.
Yeah, because they used mostly practical, I think, and then digital where they had to, like growing, Tony Shalhoub's head back and things like that.
Yeah.
And all those things that they did use digital for looked pretty good. But here, like when he's riding the thing in the subway, it just looked all very green screeny and yeah.
I do still think when Tony Shalhoub does come back in this movie and has to grow his head again, I think that still looks good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do agree with you. It's weird how the effects seem to look worse.
Yeah.
And that's not the practical effects. That's not the the alien suits and what have you, because
those little
that's
slug
all
creature things.
Yeah, it's not that at all. The effects are actually all Rick Baker effects, who probably most famously did American Werewolf in London.
Yes.
So that's going to be great, and it is. But yeah, it's the CG, and it's weird because we've all watched plenty of movies from the early 2000s where the CG still looks okay.
Yeah.
Look at Lord of the Rings.
Oh yeah.
Look at some of the stuff. I mean,
Harry
some of
Potter.
the Harry Potter. I want to say Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets looks decent. The Philosopher's Stone CG is bad.
Not great.
But the Chamber of Secrets still looks good. And you can even look at Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Or the X-Men movies that had CG that still looks, perfectly decent.
But yeah,
but
this just did not look
not
great.
this one.
No.
There's a good few slightly odd things about Men in Black 2 that just, I think it's a good movie. It's just nowhere near the quality of the first.
No, and it's so short, so it just kind of like ended, and I was like, wait, it's over already? Like, what? They could have added a little bit more here, and they kind of just said, nope, we're just gonna tell this short little tight story in like 88 minutes and call it a day. It was weird that it was so short. Like, it felt like things were missing.
Yeah, the fact that it is less than an hour and a half.
Yeah.
It maybe would suggest that I don't know if it's right to question, should they have made a sequel?
Yeah, because they just didn't have enough of a story to tell.
Have.
And they had some great things there. Like, I liked that he had to get Kay back. They gave him a reason to have to get Kay back because he's the only one who knew about, what this evil alien was looking for. And then he left himself clues. And they have a little, like, scavenger hunt type thing. Like, if they had kind of kept that going maybe a little bit longer and then gave you a little bit more with Rosario Dawson, then maybe that would have lengthened it, added more to the story, added more to his relationship with Rosario Dawson, him not wanting to neuralize her, flashy thingy her, but yeah, it was like the scavenger hunt was like a couple things they had to find, and then it was kind of over.
Yeah, and honestly for me, I don't think it's not I still like the story in this movie. That's not the problem for me, but I think you might have hit it just right there. We needed more stuff with Rosario Dawson. And that's not just because I really like Rosario Dawson. That's because her and Will Smith seem to get into their whole really strong romance very, very quickly.
Yes. And I mean, I think maybe they could have done more with Kay, like, having to relearn and get his memory back, and him kind of being the Will Smith. If they had done more with that, and then he finally remembers something, but it was like only a short period of time where he didn't know what he was doing, and then he remembered everything.
Yeah.
So
it's not really. It's not as though the story points aren't good.
No,
and the story in general is good.
There, they just cut it off very short. Like, why are you rushing it? Like, lengthen this out, because the whole fun switch of it is the dynamic shift. Will Smith is the one who knows better. He knows the world. He knows Men in Black. He's a professional now. And Tommy Lee Jones, who was the teacher, is now the student, and he doesn't remember anything. He doesn't know what to do. It's up to Will to jog his memory and get their rapport back. And teach him the ropes a little bit, and then maybe something happens that jogs his memory again. But it was like he was lost for a little bit, and then all of a sudden he like remembered, and then that whole fun dynamic that they could have had was just kind of over.
Yeah, just to make it a little more, like I said before, how the tides have turned. Just almost do it the opposite way, which would have kept the fun, it'd have kept the good silliness that the movie does still have, obviously, because it does have all the same people producing it, making it, directing it, acting in it. It's all the same. It is just this kind of thing where you're thinking, well, just add 10 minutes to it to make it the length of the first one.
Yeah, to feel more richer. And also, like, aside from the beginning, there weren't that many, like, action set pieces, I don't think.
There's not, like... Well, obviously, there's the end.
Yeah.
Where the big worm Jeff eats the subway train.
Yes. Well, that, aside from the beginning, I'm saying there weren't very many.
Well, that's the end.
Yeah. Well, no. Isn't that the beginning? Him and Patrick Warburton are like chasing the thing in the subway. That was at the beginning.
But I thought he comes back at the end.
He does come back at the end.
To eat another subway train.
Yes. But
or is it? I don't know.
In between, there was not a whole lot of action type stuff, which I think the first one had a little bit more of.
No, and there wasn't like any of the cool let's go montages either.
Yeah.
That I can remember.
Not so much.
Yeah, you can see that it's still very much got the same sort of love behind making it, because it does feel very similar. It does feel exactly like the first one feels.
Yeah.
It is just missing that little bit of spark.
Yeah, they could have taken time to play up some interesting elements more, and they just didn't really do that. They kind of just rushed through it. Yeah.
And, I did say last week that, Vincent D'Onofrio's villain... while Vincent D'Onofrio himself is always great, that wasn't my favourite part of the first Men in Black. Very similar in this one.
Laura Flynn Boyle.
Where the villains are not my favourite part of this one. And my favourite part, again, is the chemistry between Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones.
And I just love that you just don't expect that to work, and it does.
Yeah. It's just, why is Johnny Knoxville in the movie?
Because I think that was like the height of his jackass powers.
Yeah, I guess it probably was. But yeah, we talked about the kind of bad CG. Johnny Knoxville's weird second head.
Oh god, that looked so bad.
It's terrible. It's dreadful.
Yeah. The slug thing looked terrible. Even like Rosario Dawson going off in that pod looked so bad.
Did.
Oh god.
Yeah, it did. And I forgot about that.
Yeah.
At the end.
It did not look good.
Oh no. But yeah, look. Do I seem like the kind of person that likes Johnny Knoxville and Jackass? No. No, I don't, do I? I know I don't. But he was fine for what he was doing.
Yeah, I mean, that was his era of doing movies. He was serviceable. Yeah.
He was serviceable. His weird second head just looked awful.
Not great, yeah.
It never looked like it should have been there.
Yeah. I mean, he does kind of
a shame.
Look like he could be an alien, but...
He looks like he could be an alien. That's a horrible thing to say to someone. You look like an alien.
I don't feel like bad about hurting somebody who's done the kinds of things he's done.
Well, that's true. Yeah, that's a very, very fair point. What I also find, there's a lot of things in Men in Black 2 that date it as well.
Yeah.
I feel there's a lot of things that
like
this was definitely
Michael
made
Jackson.
in 2002. Like Michael Jackson. No.
Which now I'm kind of thinking, I wonder if Michael Jackson was in it because of Rick Baker.
Probably.
Because didn't he do the Thriller makeup?
I think so.
Yeah.
It was definitely John Landis that directed Thriller, so...
Yes, and I think Rick Baker did the makeup. That's why the makeup was so similar to the werewolf.
Makes a lot of sense if it would have been Rick Baker that got him involved.
Yeah.
But that was
he also looked like an alien at that time.
Well, yeah, he did. That's also a very unexpected... I didn't even know that cameo happened. It did, and it took me out of it, and I was just like, oh, no, okay, that's over with now.
Yeah.
No, we don't want you in.
I could be Agent M. Yeah, that was just
very
odd.
Thank you. No, thank you. You can't be Agent... I can be Agent M. That's who can be Agent M. Me. Morgan for Agent M, because they all go by their own names, don't they? What's Tommy Lee Jones's real name in this movie, quote unquote? It's Kevin.
Yeah, and he tells him he doesn't look like a Kevin.
No, he looks like a K. He looks like a K.
Yeah. Kevin Brown,
like
I believe.
A J, though. That's Kevin Brown. Do we have any listeners called Kevin Brown? I'm sorry if we offend anybody right now. That's a bland name.
No, but we do have a listener named Carla.
We do have a listener named Carla. You are quite correct.
Yes.
Who I believe wanted a shout out.
Yes. So hey,
hi,
Carla. Hi, Carla.
Jeannine knows Carla very well. She's making some sort of inside joke.
I just like to say her name, Carla.
I will not do that. I will just say, hi, Carla. Thanks for listening to the show. We love you. Thanks. Yes. Great.
Much appreciated. You're awesome. See, we got fans. We got fans.
We have one fan, and it's Carla.
Yay.
Yay. We'll keep doing this for you, Carla.
Yes. If for nothing else, we will do it just for you, Carla.
Yeah, I'm about that. Let's do it. Wonderful. Yay, shout-outs for listeners. Woo-hoo! See, that's what you can get if you be a very nice listener.
If you're an avid listener and you leave comments and 5-star ratings and hit us up on our socials.
Do the tweets.
Yes.
Do the nice fun tweets, and generally if you show a lot of love to the show, then you'll get like Carla has just had, with a nice outpouring of appreciation.
Yes.
And a lot of gratitude and love, and that's just a nice place. That's just a nice thing to do. It keeps the positivity up, and that's what we all like to do. Screw negative podcasts, Jeannine.
Yeah, screw them.
Screw Twitter and its endless negativity. Guess what I've seen a petition for today?
Oh, no, what?
Bring Iron Man back.
What?
From the dead.
Oh, good grief. You did not see that.
No. I did.
What is the petition called? We love you 3000. Go back.
I don't know what the petition's called. I just saw a news story that petition existed. And it was from a legitimate news place where you would believe. I think it might have been Hollywood Reporter. I don't know.
Oh, people.
But people are idiots, Jeannine.
They are. But we're not.
No, we're not. Well, we're
slightly ridiculous, but I wouldn't call us full-on idiots.
No, we are sane. We have brains.
We do.
Which is more than can be said for Johnny Knoxville.
Well, he has 2 brains because he has 2 heads.
In this movie. Well, they always make a joke in this movie about how Johnny Knoxville's character's like the stupidest. I can't say words today.
Stupidest.
Ha! Stupidest person.
Yes.
That was where I was going with that. I don't think anybody forgot my little jokey joke, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks he's a jackass.
Ha. 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 We were talking about things that date Men in Black 2 way more than they date the first one.
Yes.
Because that one still feels it's
Yeah,
kind of timeless, right? Anytime. This movie has Who Let the Dogs Out in it.
It does.
Which, granted, yes, Who Let the Dogs Out, it's great, but oh my god, that we're all just sat there then going, well, this is from 2002. What else does it have in it? Well, the very fact it has Johnny Knoxville in it.
Yes.
Is that also. And its depiction of the sexy female villain is very early noughties as well.
Oh, yeah. Like the first time you see her, she's walking around in her underwear, in a negligee.
Yeah, and I'm sure everyone in 2002 is going, oh my god, she's so hot. I love her so much, she's so... And I'm just sat here now in 2019 going, eh.
Yeah.
That just looks like a person. How times have changed.
Yeah.
Somewhat problematic in the world.
Yeah, I don't think an actress would do that today, really. Just be like, my introduction is me looking at a Victoria's Secret ad, and that's what I'm going to look like. And I'm going to be in full brawn panties and like a little...
For the rest of the movie.
For the majority of the movie, and walk around in my little thong, and yeah.
No. So I was not about that at all. It was weird.
Yeah, it was very dated and of its time, which is like, yeah, how do you like take that away from this movie when the first one was
just
it's
5 years before it.
Yes, and it
doesn't feel that way.
It felt pretty timeless, but this is very 2000s specific.
If a villain did that today, just no. Well, for one, to be fair, the idiots on Twitter would probably be all for it. Be like, yeah, we need to see more. And I'm doing that voice because that's what I believe they all sound like. Some people might do the voice like yeah, well, we need to see this. I prefer to go low with it.
Oh, I appreciate that choice. Yes.
Do the well, we need to see more girls in underwear in our movies. No, shut up. That's all I can say to that.
Yeah.
Go and watch Men in Black 2. Go and watch all the American Pie movies as kind of guilty pleasures for me as they are. Just because I was a 14-year-old boy once, Jeannine.
You were.
I were, and they were often on television.
Oh. I thought you came out like a fully grown old man.
Well, no, that was only when I was like 16. Was I decided to go to the age of 65.
Yes.
And have been there ever since.
Old
and you
man
know what?
Morgan.
Kind of like it. Kind of like Old Man Morgan. Yes. You like to call me Old Man Morgan.
I do.
Why?
You just have that very old man sensibility.
Is it because I shouted at children on a car park once?
And you were wearing a very grandpa like sweater and decided to yell at the kids in the car park. Get out of the way, children!
Were they not in the way, Jeannine?
They were in the way.
There you go.
But you yelled at them in a very grandpa like crotchety manner. Get out of the way!
I shook my fist at them.
You shook your fist at them, yes.
Oh, dear. Yeah, that's me.
You like lighthouses? That's very grandpa-like.
It kind of is, isn't it?
That you could go off on a long tangent about lighthouses.
Did you listen to that?
No, I did not.
Oh,
I need to now.
You're missing out.
I know.
Anybody who wants to listen to me go on about lighthouses for 10 minutes and disrupt Nolan's train of thought, go and listen to the Beast from 20,000 Fathoms episode of It's a Wonderful Podcast. And you'll hear that. It's weird. I'm weird, Jeannine. Did you know?
Maybe you're an alien.
Maybe I am an alien. We don't know who's an alien.
Which, speaking of lighthouses and speaking of aliens,
who else
are hiding out as aliens, that was probably my favorite part. When he found him at the post office, and then he does that whole kind of like beatboxing with Bismarcky, and that kind of reveals everyone in the post office to be aliens, because that looked really, makeup wise and stuff, that looked really good. And it was just kind of a fun little reveal.
Now, I feel like we have to talk about Bismarcky. When did that song come out? I feel like it was definitely earlier than the early noughties.
What, his Just a Friend song?
Yeah, the only song you could possibly name as Bismarcky. But yeah, he is in this movie. Will Smith beatboxing. That is a early 2000s thing.
I think it was maybe early 90s, I want to say.
Yeah, it's
89 was when he released.
89?
Yeah. So somehow he stayed relevant for another...
Wow. I didn't think it was that early.
For another 10 plus years to do this movie, and people knew who he was. Because, I mean, he still probably does things, insane. And he's still very good at, like, his unique way of beatboxing. So that was kind of fun.
He just can't sing.
I think that was kind of the point of the song.
That is the point.
Yeah,
that is
and
the point.
It works.
And it does work. It's a good song.
It's dressed like Beethoven or whatever.
I'm not going to take the song away from Bismarcky. He knows what he was doing.
But it was just cool seeing these two actual rappers kind of like, have that moment. And then the reveal of pretty much all the aliens work at the post office.
Yeah, all postal workers are aliens.
Yes.
Is the statement there. And that's funny because postal workers are often like aliens if they knock at your front door very loudly.
Yeah.
When they have a package that can't fit through can't fit through your door, because unlike the US, we have letter boxes here, which are just little slits in the front of your door where you put your letters through.
Yeah, we don't have that. We have
just have the post boxes on the edge of the driveway.
And we also have like a big box that has all that people's mailboxes. Yeah. So you have to walk up the street and pick your box and get your stuff out of your box. Yeah.
It would. I think that works for apartment buildings and stuff like that. That works perfectly fine. I think it's a silly idea not to have letterboxes. That your post is then just in your house, rather than in a separate box outside.
And that's kind of how that era of knowing your mailman died.
Yeah, that's true. But they knock at the door very loudly, is what I'm saying, is what I was getting at. So they must be aliens, because
they must be.
There's few things that annoy me more than loud knocks at a door. Just knock quiet. Who taught you to knock?
The police.
The riot police.
Riot police.
The people. Are you doing a raid on the house? What's going on? Just knock calmly. Just get one knuckle. Just three taps with one knuckle. That's all you need. People can hear you. They don't need to hear you 10 houses down.
Sure they do. It's very important.
No, they
Postage. You don't know.
It's ridiculous. And
you could be getting your stickers. They're
not going to knock on the door for that.
As a patron of Jeannine.
If you
could be getting your stickers of
patron, if you want to be a patron of Jeannine the Machine,
check me out at Jeannine LC on Patreon.com
to get your stickers of the month through your letterbox and or postal box and or thing at the end of the driveway with the little flag on.
Yes.
Is it a flag? I don't know. The concept is alien to me, Jeannine. I just wanted to say the word alien.
Yeah, I feel like you had that stored away.
I did. I was waiting for that one, and didn't work because it's now been over-explained.
Yeah.
And that's always
kind of
fun.
killed it there.
Kind of killed it there. Do you know what else I did really like about Men in Black 2?
What's that?
Was this the weird city in the locker.
Oh, yeah. Where they were like praising
Favourite
Kay.
part of both movies. Liked it more than any part in the first one.
Of course you would like the weird stuff.
I like the weird stuff. There's a whole city of people, or whatever they are,
in a storage locker.
In a locker.
Who praise
and they have
Agent
their own
K.
society. They praise him like a god.
They praise his watch that he left there. Thank you for your digital device. It lights our streets. Like, okay.
It's incredible. I want a whole story about those. I hope they're still there in Men in Black International.
I don't know about that.
No.
So I'm pretty sure you were the only person who had that as their favorite part.
Well, it's a whole other world. And they're using all the trash that's in the locker to create their homes and their streets. And they use the power from Kay's watch to light them. And without that light, Jeannine, they don't have warmth.
Oh,
and without warmth, they die.
Oh, you really care about these little creatures, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
Just like the end of the first one. We are revealed to be just like those creatures in the locker. Because they do that whole kind of, like the first one and this one did that whole zoom out at the end of us kind of just being part of a bigger world. Like in the first one, we ended up being like a marble in an alien's marble bag. And
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
and this has that.
You are one of those creatures, essentially, in a locker.
I'm not in a locker. I'd know if I was in a locker. There would be a big face that came down.
There could be a big zoom out of a bigger alien who's looking down on you in a locker, in a storage locker.
Are we just what is it that people say we are? Are we a droplet of sweat on a giant's hand? Or
is that a saying? Is that an old British folk saying?
Something inside a turtle's brain. I've heard that one.
What?
Have you heard the turtle's brain one?
No, I have not.
The world is just like a dream inside a turtle's brain or something like that. No. I don't know. There's aliens out there though. As we found out.
And they're all at the post office.
They're all at the post office. And they're all at the end of this movie when you have the sort of final shot that is going through that door, or like opening up that one door to that big room.
Yes.
Where all the various aliens are. And it's just basically, oh look, more aliens. We can't wait for Men in Black 3 that came out 10 years later.
And goes back in time. And you get to hear that
great
Pitbull song.
It's not another Pitbull song.
Yeah, well, I was not a huge fan of this song. I liked the Men in Black song better.
Yeah, where was the Men in Black song?
He had a new song.
I don't care about the new song. I want the old song. Bring the Men in Black song back into this movie. It should play all the time. It should be the main theme of the movie.
Exactly. They could have just kept
Screw Danny Elfman.
I did not like this end credit song at all.
No. And I didn't mean screw Danny Elfman. I'm sorry, Danny Elfman. I like Danny Elfman very, very much. But I just like the Men in Black song. And it's a shame that it was only used that once on the ending credits of the damn first movie, Jeannine.
Well, there was a big elaborate music video that accompanied it. So you can always just watch that.
Does it have aliens in it?
It does, and they're doing the Men in Black dance.
Yeah.
I will have to send it to you.
I love it. I love that so much. But yeah, Men in Black 2, for me, to sort of finalise a little bit, it was fun. It had the same vibe, it had the same style as the first one, and I liked it. I liked the story, obviously, with Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones again with J&K. That was the standout stuff. Rosario Dawson was great, even though she should have really
had
done
way more to do,
considering she was the princess of something or other.
Yes.
Of some sort of alien species that we found out she was, that wasn't really gone into at great detail, other than a statement that said, "Oh wait, Rosario Dawson, you're the princess of this race that we've been after all movie." And it's just like, what? Where did that come from? That's coming from nowhere.
They didn't even get like a flashback scene or anything like
nothing.
that.
Nothing. That was just a blanket statement, and then she goes off on her little space pod.
Weird pod. I mean, this movie was 88 minutes. You had so much time to add some depth and detail to a lot of things. So, yeah, I mean, I haven't seen this movie in a long time. That's 88 minutes
with credits.
Yeah. Like, I mean,
so it's like 85 minutes.
Yeah. Of actual story and movie.
Yeah.
But, like, yeah, I hadn't seen this movie in a long time. And, yeah, I was a bit disappointed that it was so short. And they could have elaborated on some fun things that they started. But they kind of just resolve it too quickly and don't really take the time to go into them and make it more interesting. And the effects weren't that great, considering it came out, 5 years after the first one that had pretty good effects. And yeah, like you said, it's just very dated. So
it is.
I would have to say
it's such a shame when movies do that. And I know there's movies like that today. Yeah. That come out every week today, that in 20 years' time we'll all be watching them going, oh God, that is so late 2010s.
Yeah. So yeah, I was
just a shame.
Fairly disappointed. The thing that, saved it for me, of course, was the great dynamic between the two of them.
Yeah.
But other than that, yeah.
And Will Smith just
villain. Him ad-libbing. I love him when he neuralizes people and he kind of gives them a nice little lengthy story as opposed to what Kay does. Yeah.
I like the one where they go to that family's house and Kay's got a load of weapons stored there that the family didn't know anything about. And they looked all shocked. And then Will Smith flashy things them and tells the little girl that she can have as much
cookies and
ice cream as she wants. And I always appreciate somebody letting somebody else have all the ice cream.
Yes.
Because people deserve ice cream, Jeannine.
Yes,
for going Veruca through Salt. Daily life. Veruca Salt doesn't deserve any damn ice cream.
It's in her song.
Veruca Salt deserves exactly what she gets, which is
that girl probably turned into Veruca Salt,
being burned, and that girl did not turn into Veruca Salt.
She wants a feast. She wants a bean feast.
She doesn't. She just wants ice cream.
Well,
no mention of a bean feast. Too. There's no mention of a bean feast.
Get the things that she's after.
What's she gonna do?
Going to scream.
I truly believe.
Like, how much ice cream did she ask for? Like 10,000 tons of ice cream or something?
Something like that, yeah. Which is way too much ice cream, even for those people that do like ice cream. I truly believe that we should our little group of friends should all get together and do some sort of amateur stage production of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. And you are definitely playing Veruca Salt.
What are you trying to say?
I'm saying you sing the song very well.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Obviously, I would play Grandpa Joe.
Yeah, you would.
And we'd have to do some other casting. No, that's just because I can sing his song very well.
Better than Charlie can. Oh, God, that kid is terrible.
Yeah.
And if you want to hear more about our Willy Wonka shenanigans, you can listen to the episode of It's a Wonderful Podcast featuring me and our good friend Brandon Hanna as we have kidnapped Nolan, taken him away, and taken over the show to talk Willy Wonka. It's a very fun and ridiculous episode with lots of singing. So you can cast us however you want to in our stage production of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Brandon would definitely think he would play Willy Wonka, but Brandon is actually playing all the Oompa Loompas.
He could do both.
No, he couldn't.
I mean, he does have the Wonka hat. And if you want to hear Brandon break down the science of fizzy lifting drinks, check out his episode of Film Physics on Willy Wonka. At Brandon Hanna.
The professionalism today, Jeannine.
Yeah. Check out Film Physics on YouTube.
Go and do it. Look at all this professionalism today. I think we're doing a good job today. We've gone away a little bit from the absolute nonsense of last week. And we're doing okay. You're plugging away like nobody cares. Yeah, but everybody cares. Because like nobody's business. I think Brandon should play Mike TV.
Yeah, he's a bit fast talking.
Because he's American.
Yeah. And all he cares about is guns.
American. And obviously all Brandon cares about is TV and guns.
Yes.
As we all know. As Brandon's two loves in life. TV.
And guns.
And hand weaponry. No, that's not true at all. Sorry, Brandon. Sorry about that one. Yeah. But yeah, Men in Black 2. It's good. I liked it. I think I probably liked it a little more than you did.
Yeah.
But maybe that's just because I love the first one so much now.
Yeah.
And just was happy to see Will Smith, Tommy Lee Jones back being
together.
Silly with each other, vibing off each other, doing what they did so well in the first again, because they haven't lost it in 5 years. The only people that have lost it in 5 years are the CG developers. That was a loud noise.
Loud noises.
No,
yeah.
Steve
you
Carell
don't know what
is nowhere
that's
to
from because you
I don't know what it's
seen
from.
That movie.
That's from Anchorman. It's Steve Carell.
Okay. Well,
I like Steve
maybe
Carell.
I'm gonna add that to the frat pack list. Bing. Frat pack
Steve Carell.
movies.
Oh, we're not getting into this again, but Steve Carell is he's weird because I like Steve Carell. I really do like Steve Carell. He's in both groups that we were talking about last week.
Which groups? The frat
He's
pack group?
And he's also, but with 40-Year-Old Virgin, he's also in the Seth Rogen group.
He is, yeah.
So I like Steve Carell.
And Paul Rudd, too.
Paul Rudd's also, yeah, but I think Paul Rudd is also more into the Seth Rogen group than the Apatow group.
Yeah.
Than the not. That's what it is actually, isn't it? It's Apatow. It's all Apatow.
Yeah.
That's what I like. Apatow stuff and Seth Rogen. That's me. No, who directed all the movies that Will Ferrell was in?
Different people.
Exactly. There
Adam
was
McKay
no consistency.
Did, Anchorman, right?
Oh yeah, Adam McKay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. You're right. Anyway, I don't know why I like Steve Carell. I just do like Steve Carell.
Everybody does. He's wonderful.
It is true. And Steve Carell also looks much better now than he ever did in 2005.
Yes. Well, somebody told me, I'm like, did he do like hair plugs or something? Because he did not look like this. And somebody told me that he like purposefully thinned out his hair like that and slicked it back.
It works.
So he could look like a weird, sad boss man. So his hair was like always full, but he thinned it out like that.
A weird, sad boss man.
Yes.
Steve Carell very good at playing weird, sad boss men.
Yes.
Yeah. But that is it, unless we have anything else to say about Men in Black 2, Jeannine.
Nope, I think we covered the gist.
Are we excited to watch the third movie?
It's been a very long time. I'm pretty sure I saw it in the theater, and that is the last and only time I had seen this movie. So...
Okay.
No Tommy Lee.
No Tommy Lee Jones.
I
We
feel
have
like
Josh Brolin.
Yes, and you get Jermaine Clement, and I think he's kind of...
Jermaine Clement's in the movie.
He's the
yes,
villain.
I already love it. Yes.
But I feel like he's gonna...
Yes.
Are you okay over there?
Yes.
I feel like I remember him being very D'Onofrio-esque.
I don't care, it's Jermaine Clement.
Okay. Well,
D'Onofrio's good. And without Tommy Lee Jones, does Josh Brolin have as much good chemistry with Will Smith? How do I know? I haven't seen the movie.
Sure
That's
was
the point,
good. I remember, and I feel like Brolin did a very good job of portraying, giving that Tommy Lee Jones essence, if I recall. So.
Well, I like that, and I certainly look forward to watching it, especially now that you've said Jermaine Clement's in it, because I really like Jermaine Clement a lot. He's great.
Yes. So yeah, this will be a fun rewatch for me because I'm pretty sure I've only seen this movie the one time in the theater when it came out.
And will the poll won't be going up yet, will it? No, the poll won't be going up. We can
probably put the poll up maybe next week.
Next week, I think, is when we would.
Or maybe we'll put it up today. After this episode is released, we will put up the poll.
But that seems like... But then it's like 2 weeks plus away. We have 2 more movies to go before the poll movie.
True. Okay. Next week.
So I think we should put it up next week.
Okay.
And that is, of course, the poll to... that you can all vote on to determine which Will Smith movie which Will Smith movie I watch for the first time for the last bonus episode of this
little run
of the Will Smith series before season 4 kicks off, or series 4 of Morgan Hasn't Seen kicks off.
Which you're so excited about.
Don't talk into the microphone with such happiness.
I am really excited.
You are. I'm not.
I think this is going to be the first time you actually hate me. I mean, you've pretty much enjoyed everything I've put upon you this whole time.
Yeah. Look, I feel like I'm a very self-aware person, right? I kind of know my own mind.
And tastes.
And tastes and stuff like that. I also know kind of the reasons why I like certain things. But I feel like I'm very easy to please when it comes to movies. I feel like if there's one good thing about a movie, then the movie's good. Whereas I think a lot of people are like, if there's one bad thing, the movie's bad. You know?
Yeah.
Do you get my way of thinking?
I get your way of thinking. But I mean, I know you to be a person to find positives in things. So even though you are very negative about watching
certain
all
things.
Of the Fast and Furious films, which I am super excited about and you are dreading, I think you will find some positives in there. And maybe this is a situation where we might have to just, synchronize our watches and watch it together. Because when you watch things with people who enjoy them, it helps get you into the vibe of it, I think.
Yeah, and we may even be getting guests on for the Fast and Furious stuff if we can,
because these movies are beloved. We have plenty of friends clamoring to want to be guests to talk about them. So that must tell you something.
It does.
It's like these movies are ridiculous. They know they're ridiculous. And you'll get to see the evolution of their ridiculous because they tried to actually start out like really serious and grounded in some kind of reality. And then they just go bonkers. And they know they've gone bonkers. So I hope you can see this study in creativity, I guess.
We will get into all of that when the time comes, Jeannine. But next week we have Men in Black 3. Even though Men in Black International will be out.
Yes.
I believe it comes out in 2 days, if I've got my dates right.
This weekend.
But we will be talking about that not next week, but the week after, because we'll be doing the third movie next week. But yeah, we will be doing a piece on Men in Black International. One of the both of us haven't seen episodes.
Yes.
Which is always nice. We've actually had, for all 3 series, we have had this sort of in honour of movie that both of us haven't seen because it's a new release. We had Endgame, we had John Wick 3, and we now have Men in Black International.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. And
it's kind of cool that we keep doing that.
Yes.
And especially with the month after as well, when we have Damn Hobbs and Shaw.
Yes. Wow.
But then the month after that, we won't.
No.
That'll just be a straight up Morgan hasn't seen.
That's why I kind of like, planning these around releases of things. But yeah. So
sometimes you just want to do a certain genre.
Yes. Like I feel like Drew Barrymore is an interesting thought that we've had to do. Especially
teen
with movies.
I really like Drew Barrymore.
I have some ideas spanning all the way till next year, like religious comedies.
That's just because religious comedy's week. That's not a lot of episodes.
Sorry, my bad.
Month, yes. Or maybe 2 months.
Yes,
or maybe
next
7
year,
months.
We can have a little change up. Maybe I'll give you a few opportunities to flip the script on me and make it Jeannine hasn't seen, and you can pick a series for me.
Who knows where this show will develop to.
Well, I mean, we're going to have our one devoted listener, Carla, and that's going to keep the ship running. That's going to keep the lights on. So,
just about.
Yeah.
We'll keeping this light on that's
right
next to me.
Thanks to you, Carla. Thanks.
It's all thanks to you, Carla. That is true. It's all thanks to you. And we thank you for it. Endlessly. For the rest of time. But yeah, who the hell knows where this show will develop to in the future. It'll be fun to see what comes of it and what keeps happening on it. It's a lot of fun. Jeannine has fun doing it, I hope.
I do.
Good, because that's all we ask in co-hosts. For each other to have fun. And I certainly have fun. I'm glad you do too.
Very much.
Wonderful. Jeannine, where can everybody find you at? What are you up to?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Jeannine Dubbing. You can check me out as Jeannine the Machine at Collider. Schmodown Collision. Streaming live June 22nd. So get your links and check it out live. It's going to be
you will be going up against...
I will be competing in the Manager Bowl. So each manager will have a competitor competing on their behalf to get control of the league for a whole month. So, of course, I will be playing for Jay. I believe Stacy is playing for Corruption.
Yeah.
McWeenie is playing.
Okay.
And Roka. Yeah.
And okay, that's a fun match.
And
I
Zipper,
like that.
Eric Zipper will be playing for Kaiser.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that just because Kevin Smith can't do general trivia? Ooh, harsh words. Sorry, Kevin Smith. Sorry. We like Kevin Smith. We like Kevin Smith on Morgan Hasn't Seen. It's okay.
Dare you
but yeah,
Kevin
that's
Smith.
A lot of... I'm not insulting anybody. But yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. That's live stream. I believe you can purchase a live stream.
You can, if you are not a patron of a certain level.
Of the Schmodown.
Purchase it and watch it live. So it should be fun. June 22nd, the Schmodown Collision. Get to see the big match. Smets, actually, versus Kalinowski, Inner Geekdom.
Oh, yeah.
To see who goes up against Rachel for the belt in San Diego. So that's the big match. Yeah, so nobody really cares about the Manager Bowl because that's usually how it goes. So that's probably why they put me in it. But
no, that's not why they put you in it. That's not why they put you in it. Shut up.
But yeah, okay. Anyway,
big things are happening there, guys. Big things are happening there, Jeannine. Stop downplaying yourself.
I also have a TeePublic shop, G9 Design. So get your
where you can find Morgan Hasn't Seen shirts.
And It's a Wonderful Podcast shirts. And even film physics shirts for Brandon Hannah Show Film Physics. So check it out.
And all
G9
of your
Design.
original designs, too.
And plenty of original silly things that I have created. So check it out. You can join my Patreon at Jeannine LC. I have some fun things over there. Sticker of the Month Club, some artwork, movie reviews, study sessions, all kinds of silly things. So head over to patreon.com, Jeannine LC, if you want to join and help support me and my artwork and me and my silliness in getting to LA every time I compete in a Schmodown. So, yeah. I think that's all the stuff and things. Oh yes, I have a weekly column on Trivia SD called Machine Mondays, where I write about some kind of Schmodown related topic, so you can check that out as well.
Beautifully done, guys. You can find me on the other show on this podcast feed too. It's a Wonderful Podcast with me and Nolan Dean. Last week we did an episode on Pillow Talk, starring Doris Day and Rock Hudson, in honour of of Doris Day, because she sadly recently passed away, and so we thought we would commemorate her wonderful career and life with doing one of her most famous movies on the main show over there. So you can go and check that out, and check out all the other episodes of It's a Wonderful Podcast and Morgan Hasn't Seen too. Like Jeannine said earlier on, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, where you can do all the rates and reviews, the 5 stars. Please don't give us a 1 star. That would be very mean. But yes, the 5-star ratings, even just the, half a second it takes just to click 5 stars really helps us. And it'll be great
and
if
you'll get a shout out like Carla.
And do that. And you'll get a big shout out like Carla did. And like anybody else did. That is gonna be very, very nice, because we like nice people on the show, Jeannine.
We do.
We like nice people on this show. Nice people make the world go round. Yay. I'm just sick of horrible people. That's all I'm sick of. I'm just sick of,
Well, that's
I think
why
it's because,
we have this podcast, so we can put some positivity and silliness into the world.
It is. And boy, do we do that.
Oh, yes.
Yes, but yeah, find me on the other show. Find the feed, this entire feed with both shows on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, Castbox, Google Podcasts, and wherever else you may find your podcasts, and download the shows and listen and share with your friends. And keep helping us expand, guys. It's a lot of fun. Who knows where this show will go in the future? It'll keep going, I know that for sure.
Yep.
As will It's a Wonderful Podcast, and whatever else may at some point turn up also on this humble podcast feed. It'll be a lot of fun, I know that for a fact. But you can find me on Twitter as well, at the Purple Dom, with a 3 instead of the E in the, on Instagram at just the Purple Don. And that's gonna do it. Jeannine, until next week with Men in Black 3 with no Tommy Lee Jones but Josh Brolin, so it's a pretty decent substitute. We're gonna do it at the same time this week because we didn't do it last week. Bye. Bye. Damn it, I don't think we did it again.
We'll get it. We'll keep practicing.